Into our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well. Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well. Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.
The Exeter Conservation Commission meeting to order.
Oh, yeah.
It's for Tuesday, August 11th. And we'll start with introducing the members, starting with Ethan.
Ethan Fishbaugh, alternate.
Sean Torres, alternate.
Kyle Welch, I guess I'm not an alternate today.
Valerie Fanger.
Andrew Koff.
Dave Short.
Connor Madison.
Keith Whitehouse.
Michelle Crapo.
Oh, sorry, Kristen Murphy, Conservation and Sustainability Planner.
Dan Chartrand, Select Board Rep to the Conservation Commission, and I'm delighted to be here tonight with all of you commissioners. The commissions.
You're looking for a favor later, huh?
Yeah.
Is there any public comment? I don't believe so.
I have some public comment.
Oh,
We have a member of this commission who brought the highest creativity to the Select Board last night.
Oh.
Mr. Whitehouse,
what now?
are you going to talk about it or am I? I'm going to talk about it. He fashioned a canvas.
My wife did.
Okay, your wife did, with a hole in it. And he stuck his head through the hole, and it was right at the head of a cow that had been painted on there. And he proceeded to pitch the Ott and the Bond event. And I was never so proud of any conservation commission as I was in that moment. It was moving testimony. Great job, Keith.
Oh, thank you.
I thought after the
That's my public comment.
I thought after the beaver costume on the bridge that he couldn't go much further, but
I've got more tricks up my sleeve.
It wasn't greater than that, but it was equivalent.
oh yeah. All right. First item, we have an after-the-fact wetland conditional use permit and restoration plan at 26 Wadley Street, tax map 54, lot 5-2, and Mark Jacobs, wetland scientist, is here for a presentation.
Risky.
Before we get too far into it, this is a relatively minor application. To me, the focus is on you convincing us that this is not going to set precedent for the rest of that neighborhood, because that would open up an entire can of worms. So I'd like to focus on that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, and those of you who don't know me, Mark Jacobs, certified wetland scientist, certified soil scientist, and certified professional in erosion sediment control. this is my 40th year of practice, actually. Interesting. And I recognize some of you actually from back when the project, back in 2017, 2018 timeframe, when we were in front of the commission and the planning board.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that. I don't know if I need to go back.
No, you're good, man.
Okay, thank you. I recognize some faces from back in 2018 or so when the project was going through the approval process. So I'm gathering from the chairman's comments that you've all had an opportunity to read my long-winded treatise on that I submitted regarding this project. I'd like to back up first a little bit. I'm in a bit of a unique position here, quasi-ethical dilemma, in that obviously I helped get the project approved back in 2018. I work for Mr. Baker now in a supervisory role, conducting inspections that are primarily focused on stormwater management, erosion sediment control, but I'm also tasked, based on the planning board approval, with during those inspections, keeping an eye out for other local matters and issues under your town zoning regulations. I'm also expected to submit status reports that meet the Alteration of Terrain Bureau at the state of New Hampshire requirements, as well as the EPA construction general permit inspections under the National Pollution Discharge Elimination System. So I serve multiple masters out there, which is almost never a good situation to be in. And I now have the opportunity to represent the Roberts here this evening and their interest in trying to get this conditional use, wetland conditional use permit. I have tried as best I can to stick to the facts and science as much as possible because I'm wearing multiple hats out here and it's a little awkward. So I appreciate any deference, in that regard. So again, it sounds like everybody's had an opportunity to review what I submitted, and you'd like to focus on the precedent issue. And for me, the precedent or lack thereof in this case comes down to the physical attributes of this particular lot. Let's see if I got the right buttons here. So this lot is surrounded on three sides really by very steep slopes that transition down to either wetlands in this area or the drainage easement, which has one of the project's gravel wetlands, which is intended to treat and manage flow, stormwater runoff from the project before it gets released eventually to Norris Brook, which is just down the hill here in this area. There are no other lots in this subdivision that have this collection, if you will, of attributes, with the possible exception of Lot 9, which comes close in that it also has a gravel wetland on it, or adjacent to it, I should say, and it has wetlands associated with an inland stream in the rear of that lot. But that's two sides, if you will, as compared to this particular lot, which has wetlands on two sides and then this drainage easement on the third. The drainage easement also has steep slopes on the approach, but it also provides a safety concern for the Roberts in that during larger storm events, it floods and can remain flooded to a depth of several feet for up to 72 hours. The stormwater ponds, gravel wetlands, I'm sorry, have an underdrain system that causes them to drain slowly over a period of 48 to 72 hours. The primary reason for that being they don't want these to become mosquito breeding habitat. But you still have a 2 to 3 day period there where as these facilities drain down where they could be a hazard for small children like the Roberts have, two small children, I believe a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old maybe. Yeah. Thank you.
So Mark, on this last storm on Monday, last week, we had about 2+ inches of snow. How long did the water stay?
I wasn't out there every day.
Yep.
But based on my observations, it was about 2 days.
And how deep?
At the start, oh geez, it was, several feet, but it drains down slowly.
Yep.
So by the end of the second day, they're probably less than a foot of water in there at the end of the second day.
Thank you.
Thanks for that question. So again, it's the physical attributes of this particular lot. Lot 9 does have some steep slopes. Lot 9 does have a drainage easement as well on one side, but not 3 sides really like this particular lot has. So therein lies the difference, and for my money, if you will, for that reason, this is a unique situation in this entire subdivision, really. There are still other lots that have steep slopes or wetland buffers, and maybe one that has both, but again, on say one side in one particular area. This one, again, roughly 3 sides is a pretty unique situation out there.
I think one of my concerns is, as far as precedent goes, it's not just, this development and these homes, but other developers and other homes. So, I don't know, I think that's concerning to me.
Yeah, and that's an excellent point.
Yeah.
What I would say is that I think you're going to be hard pressed to find a lot in too many places in Exeter that have this combination of attributes in the steep slopes, wetlands. I know, again, you may have some that come close,
right,
but I really think this one takes the cake.
Well, it's an after-the-fact wetland permit, and that's different than what we usually see.
And believe me, I think were we to do it over, at the risk of sounding like there was anything intentional out here, I think it was just a lot of miscommunication between the survey company who staked out the wetland boundary, the home builder, the owners. Something got lost in the communication, and that's why the part of this that relates to the restoration of these 3 areas is the after the fact part. The fence is a new request for sure, as part of this. So we're doing it in the right order as it relates to the fence, but not so much as it relates to the lawn, the clearing of some trees and the installation of the lawn.
Was there a change in developers in this area?
No, it's Baker Development is the overall project developer, and Profile Homes is the
So what happened exactly that why we're asking it to be restored? What happened?
That's an excellent question. I don't know for certain. I have some thoughts, but it's just pure speculation at this point. And in all honesty, it's sort of to a degree, it's water over the dam. I didn't invest a great deal of time trying to figure out or point fingers at who dropped the ball. But I do have a couple of theories, but I'm not sure. In the end, it doesn't change, the fact that we're here.
It says restore with plantings in the swing set area.
Yes, the two areas in green that fall within the buffer, the mulch that's currently, the swing set will be relocated further out into the yard. The landscape timbers, if you will, that surround the mulch will be moved. The mulch will be removed. Shrubs will be installed in those areas, and that swing set will be relocated further to the south, I guess it is, yeah. The areas that get restored are intended to remain that way in perpetuity. There's going to be no maintenance, no mowing, no. It's not going to look like a landscape bed. It may look somewhat like a landscape bed initially when it first gets planted, but the idea is that what we plant will take over, and anything new that, if we get acorns that drop out of the trees adjacent to this area, they'll be allowed to take off and do their thing as they see fit.
We got an acorn gatherer, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I will say, from viewing this today, I would see where we'd have nothing to gain by making them restore 100%. To be honest, I think it's all about the precedent it would set, but.
Yeah.
Anybody done on that end?
I've tried to strike a balance between obviously restoring some of the buffer, trying to return some of that buffer to as a natural condition as possible, retaining 545 square feet of lawn, restoring between the three areas the sort of the funky green color and the two green areas near the swing set. That's 839 square feet, which represents 60% of the area that's in violation, if you will, or encroaching. And the 545 square feet of lawn that we're requesting to retain represents roughly 40% of the area that's encroaching.
Dan or Kristen, do you have anything?
I'm sure this is not possible, but boy, we cannot have this happen again. So somehow we have to make it very clear that.
What do we hang our hat on?
Yeah, I mean, are there penalties that we can levy? Probably not, since this is kind of an unprecedented situation. But that's something we may want to look at going forward, is like putting some kind of financial penalty in place for those that encroach on, I don't know, I'm making stuff up. But there's got to be some way to enforce. And I don't have enough background in this area, but I'm not happy that this happened.
Right.
And I don't want other people to look at this and say, "Oh, we'll just get it, approved after the fact."
Right.
Because we've got them in a hammerlock. That's not acceptable. So I'd love to look at a way to, and this is not personal. It's not against the applicants, but there's got to be a way to to send a strong message that this is not acceptable.
Mr. Chairman, may I
Sure.
respond to that? First, I'm remiss for not introducing Deidre Robert, which is the homeowner, and Matt Silva, the building contractor, is with me this evening, so my apologies for that. As far as penalties, I don't think we have a final tally for sure, but if, my expense, Matt's time, and the actual plant materials, the cost to install those. We're also proposing to conduct inspections for 2 years to monitor the plants, make sure they survive and they're not being manipulated or removed or what have you. It's a pretty good chunk of change. And I think that represents in and of itself a bit of a penalty.
Well, I'm assuming that the builder's shouldering the work, correct? Is that?
Yeah, I think there's some sharing of, responsibility going on here. Plant materials probably getting purchased by one, getting installed by Matt Silver's team. So there's the penalties being spread around, I think, quite a bit.
Well, is there a way in the future for us to get some sort of enforcement mechanism in place?
I mean, the reality is we have that. Mark has been on site throughout the project and oftentimes is the first to notice some issues of, warnings about erosion control mechanisms not being in place. He's out there after every half inch of rain and or weekly. And so he's there on a regular basis. I think one of the biggest problems was the buffer boundary discs weren't in place. And so there is a role to play in terms of the town for ensuring that happens before any clearing occurs, but that is a requirement, and so it didn't happen. So it's not just having those rules on paper. Mm-hmm. We obviously don't have staff to be on site and doing the inspections that Mark does. I think for the most part, basically as soon as it happened, we were on it, It's just taken a bit to sort the players out and the process out for finding some solution. So what could we do different? I don't want to falsely tell you that I'll be on site to ensure boundary discs are there before, clearing happens. I hope so, but I can't promise that. I do think there was, a communication issue, and so how do we resolve that? I don't know. The easiest is having boundary discs out there. Then there's no question. I hope if you do move toward any sort of, please go through the criteria because you need to document that you've considered that. You don't have to, speak to his responses, but at least identify each criteria and consider if there are any board questions. But there still isn't buffer boundary discs, obviously, because there's work that needs to happen, but that needs to certainly be a condition, regardless of whatever action you take tonight.
Well, it's already a condition, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just hasn't been realized.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
You mean the restoration that we asked for at the last time?
Discs.
Oh, okay, because we asked for 100% restoration last time.
Right. And then there was discussion about the timing for planting and some desire on behalf of the homeowner to retain. I'll just say what I've heard, right? So what I've heard is the homeowner felt that they were told they could do something. They misunderstood or didn't misunderstand. I don't know, but they thought what they were doing was right. The developer thought, or the builder thought that he had communicated what could happen, and so there was a misalignment there.
But that's not our issue. You know what I mean?
I totally understand that, yeah.
I don't think that's our issue. Our issue is setting precedent, and
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
I will say that, to me, this is a pretty unique, I mean, I've been here since 2008. I can't think of a single instance where we've come to this situation before. So I feel like our regulations and our pre-construction meeting function pretty well. This has just been a unique case.
Yeah, I don't think anything particularly egregious has happened. But
I mean, it feels egregious, but not intentionally egregious.
If I may, Matt Silva, Profile Homes. I am the builder involved at the Exeter Rose Farm, so for all the homes that are being built. So for this particular development, this was an honest mistake. I remember the last time we discussed, and the reason that we are back here before you was on the nature that we said, well, we have to come up with what we're going to do for plantings, and we all agreed we would give that information to Kristen, and we would settle in making sure we understood what that area was. And then when we had a more defined picture, there were still a lot of question marks. My mistake in this process was trusting information that was presented on site at that time. So TF Moran had, I think Mark is very good about not mentioning names. The survey company had come out and laid out the site at that point in time. It was not laid out properly. And at first, that area was not properly marked or delineated, that it wasn't there. So there was an encroachment that was there. There was also, and I brought this up at the last meeting, I said, there was knotweed that was becoming present, so it looked like this area had been disturbed. And when we were on site today, we saw that knotweed is coming back in that area again. So I can't, I don't necessarily, I'm not speaking in a manner to try to change anybody's opinion about precedent, except to say that, Mark is out there. I reach out to Mark about questions I have all the time to make sure that I don't have to bug Kristen, but I do bug Kristen and get Kristen out there a lot because we really truly do not want to make a mistake out there. Not this one, not where it affects homeowners, not any mistake where it affects us in the time that we all have. So, to your point, penalties. Absolutely. I would be surprised if there are not things like that would be in place when you make an impact such as this, because you are taking up people's time. This was a situation where it was miscommunication, a long time of when, we looked at the site versus when the homeowner moved in and what happened. I mean, if you came to the site today, you would see it's its own piece of property. It's a beacon right there. You're not hiding anything in that area. So, the mistake started, by me not trusting and verifying, and that is the reality of it. Once we realized what we had done, we were ready to work a plan to fix it, and so through all the painstaking steps that we're taking, I guess that's what brings us, to this point here. So, like we say, we are seeing invasives start to pop up now in that area. So hopefully, if anything, we're giving ourselves a chance to improve that. So, thank you.
Mr. Chair. So has there been any other example of this out there in this development? Or is this a one-off?
Example of?
This kind of encroachment?
Not exactly, no.
What does that mean?
So there have been miscommunications over different aspects of the plan and boundaries on the plan, but not as it addresses wetland buffer impacts. And not necessarily the responsibility of the home builder. Some of it was the site contractor. So there are additional remedies that will have to happen. For example, there are utilities currently that have been placed within the conservation land that the town accepted, which is not permissible. So those will have to be moved, and that will need to be addressed. But I cannot think of another situation where there was a buffer encroachment. We've talked a lot about, this tree is in the buffer and it's leaning toward the house, and any work here is putting this at risk, so a tree had to come down in the buffer, for example. Nothing like this.
So this is a one-off in regard to this.
Specifically, yes.
There's also, again, the person that laid out the site and the lots evidently didn't get everything just right.
I don't want to concur with that. I'm not sure. Because I didn't observe.
But some of the utilities have been placed in conservation land,
Yes,
and that's in the process of being rectified as well.
yes.
Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Okay, you want to take a pass through the,
Yeah.
I have a quick question for Mark. You said there were question marks. Are there any more question marks? Are there any more questions as to what has to be done at this point?
Please go.
Yeah.
Or here.
I'll just go. I don't have any more question marks.
Okay.
I'm going to do as exactly as
Okay.
told
Okay.
on that, so those will remedy those question marks.
Well, one thing I've thought about is could we ever put a date, give them a date they have to do this by a certain date?
So, on to that point, if I can carry with you, the application for planning has been submitted already. Obviously, determination, but we didn't want to wait. And today was the due date for that, so we made sure that we got that in, so that our plantings, we have a time that we can still get them in the ground, where they'll be effective for the year, and then begin to monitor from there.
Because that's my concern is.
Yeah, we don't want another year.
If we don't put a date down, then,
Yep.
we're looking at this next spring. And
Correct.
We're looking
Yeah.
at the same thing.
We're ready to conclude what the board on that one
That's
too.
what
So
I
yeah,
want.
we wanted to make sure we could get it in
Okay.
in time for the year.
okay.
If I may, I would recommend it as a condition on any permit that
Yeah.
you stipulate
Yeah, that's exactly what
a
my
date
concern
certain, and, if you wanted to make it, again, our planning board meeting is September 24th. So that's,
September 24th?
yeah, the filing deadline was today for the September 24 meeting. So, in the event we get their blessing, we'll tentatively plan to be ready to go shortly thereafter. So if you wanted to put a deadline of the end of October or something like that, that would give us some.
No, I would like to.
I think that's too late.
It's not ideal, certainly.
I'd like to see it by the first week of October.
Okay. So we'll be ready.
Okay.
Ready to go then. Yep.
So are we going to do the motion? I'm not sure where we're.
I got to go through the criteria.
Okay, all right.
All right. Criteria for conditional use approval. Number one, that the proposed use is permitted in the underlying zoning district. It is. Number two, no alternative design which does not impact a wetland or wetland buffer or which has detrimental impact on the wetland or wetland buffer is feasible. And that would be, I guess, just explained by the constraints of the lot.
But the,
Mark? Did you hear what?
I'm sorry. You said, I heard you say they could be explained by the constraints of the lot. I would agree with that.
Lot, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would agree with that. I'm sorry.
A wetland scientist has provided an impact evaluation that includes the functions and values of the wetland, an assessment of the potential project-related impacts, and concluded to the extent feasible, the proposed impact is not detrimental to the value and function of the wetlands or the greater hydrologic system. Okay, and number 4, that the design, construction, and maintenance of the proposed use will, to the extent feasible, minimize the detrimental impact on the wetland or wetland buffer. Number 5, that the proposed use will not create a hazard to individual or public health, safety, and welfare due to the loss of wetland, the contamination of groundwater, or other reasons. Number 6, the applicant may propose an increase in wetland buffers elsewhere on the site that surround a wetland of equal or greater size and of equal or greater functional value than the impacted wetland. And again, the lot configuration kind of rules that out. 7, in cases where the proposed use is temporary or where construction activity disturbs areas adjacent to the immediate use, the applicant has included a restoration proposal revegetating any disturbed area within the buffer with the goal to restore the site as nearly as possible to its original grade and condition following construction. And number 8 is kind of moot because the state of New Hampshire will not be involved in this, but I'll read it anyways. That all required permits shall be obtained from the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services Water Supply and Pollution Control Division under New Hampshire RSA Section 485-8:17. The New Hampshire Wetlands Board under New Hampshire RSA Section 483-A, and the United States Army Corps of Engineers under Section 404 of the Clean Water Act. That's it.
I kind of think that other designs are feasible on this, and I would argue that maybe it is detrimental to the wetland. Just my opinion. Just one opinion on the commission.
Okay.
Can you read number 7 again? Because shouldn't that say accepting the 545 feet that is not going to remain as a lawn?
In cases where the proposed use is temporary or where construction activity...
Oh.
That answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So, Connor, have we got a motion?
I don't know. I don't have one worded yet, if you give me time. It's just a precedent. So if we're adding conditions, we're adding the September or October 1st condition.
First week of October.
First week of October. Anything else?
Well,
I would make a motion to deny.
okay.
Based on not meeting number...
The fact that there other designs are feasible and it's detrimental to the wetlands. And we want 100% restoration like we asked for before.
I find that criterion really challenging. Not that I particularly disagree with you, but it's like a factor in every single one. I'm going to disagree with you this much. There's always a different design that's feasible that would have less impact. There always is. Or you could just say no. No, there's an impact. No. So I always have a hard time with that. I would probably encourage us to just demand restoration. I don't see what's wrong with that. Right? Like sort of one exchange for the other type of principle.
I'm not sure, Sean, I understand. You saying full restoration?
Well, or
offset.
Offset.
Well, that's what one of these addresses, and the lot doesn't really allow for them to do an offset.
Right, so then it comes back to your point, which I think is valid for that reason. But if that's right, so it's sort of like one or the other, right? Like, yeah.
Do we have a second for that motion?
To deny?
Yes.
yeah, after seeing it today, I think leaving that small lawn area is okay with me.
Yeah.
It was okay with me. I don't know we gain that much by making them restored.
Yeah, that's where I'm falling too, of,
Yeah.
I don't know
What
how
it
much
would
we gain
us if we, because it's already been disturbed.
from the actual physical
Yes.
site.
From the physicality of it, I don't know what we gain.
Mr. Chair. Just for purposes of, if there's going to be discussion, that motion should be withdrawn because it didn't get a second, or we just need to be clear about what's going on.
Procedural.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
All right.
Is there no second? There's no second
Doesn't appear
to
to.
deny.
I think we should discuss it further.
Right, you can second it for discussion purposes also.
Or she can just.
Yeah, or you can withdraw it, one
Withdraw
or
and
the
we
other,
can
but you
discuss it.
can't have a.
Right.
You can't have a motion without a second and then have conversation happen.
Okay.
I mean, you can, but procedurally not correct.
I'll withdraw while discussion happens, of course.
Do we have any discussion?
Yeah, I mean, I think having been there, you're torn, right? You don't want to set a bad precedent. Think that, really don't want to set a precedent for this. Really, really don't. But looking at the situation and like Michelle said, and that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
So fundamentally, we're talking about keeping the fence where it is there, or could the alternate, which would exclude it, would be moving the fence down right in front of the curve and then reseeding that
Or even
whole
just-
area, right?
Yeah.
Right, or bringing the fence in
And the orange.
In the orange.
within the orange.
But also just to, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but just to clarify, there is no fence right now.
There is no fence right now.
Correct.
Right.
So we're asking
Yeah,
to put a
yeah.
fence in before we did that. So I
Right,
just
right.
wanted to make sure that was clear.
Yep.
Yeah, so the encroachment that would remain is retaining a portion of that as lawn, right? See the orange?
Right.
Okay. I
That's
just wanted to be
proposed.
Yes,
That's what we're talking about, is keeping the lawn.
yeah.
It's already sodded.
And, right, keeping that as lawn and then putting a fence in the buffer.
In the middle of the moon, half moon, putting the fence across it.
So, I mean, I don't disagree, you could, right, do we care enough to, the value of that? It is, I mean, I think, Sean, you said it well, it's like, I don't know.
I want to take that back. I guess the fence is not in the middle of the half moon. It's on the edge of it. I'm sorry.
Back edge is
It's on the
above.
north end,
Yeah.
or as my north, as I'm looking at this. The north end of the turquoise or green color, yeah.
So inside the fence would be part of the restored area.
And then
To be clear, that's how it shapes up when you look at it, right?
We'd get some, water quality improvements, some wildlife improvements on the yard side of the fence.
What, did we say what the fence is?
Yes.
There's a photo of it.
Oh, there's
If I
pictures.
can,
He has
if I
a
figure out how to,
Oh, he's got it.
Yeah, there it is.
All right,
that's
okay.
a mock-up of the fence that would be installed.
Can you go back, I was not on the sidewalk. Can you go back to those other photos?
This is looking along the yard, the really steep slope, or one of the steep slopes is right here. The fence, I don't know if you can see the half moon, there's a couple of stakes that mark the buffer, if you will.
I got it.
Whoops, I apologize.
And that playground equipment, that's going to move?
Right, that's going to come in this area,
Yep.
more or less. The fence is going to be right along this top of the slope.
And Mark, where is the knotweed that was talked about?
We found a couple of sprigs roughly in this area.
In the lawn?
Yes.
In the turquoise area though, or, yeah.
But it's not in the
Oh, was it?
woods line there? It is.
No, it's not in the woods line.
I
Thankfully.
didn't see any except stuff this high.
in the lawn.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it must have been in the soil.
So,
There.
Let's see.
I guess it's a small area relatively, right? So I guess it's, how.
This is the exact opposite view of
Yep.
the image I just showed you. So this is looking from the, this is looking from the swing set in the other direction. You can see the landscape timber here and the mulch associated with the swing set.
And that's all going to move.
Yeah, so coincidentally, a lot of what you see here would be restored, and this is what would remain as lawn, more or less. And let's see, and this is looking from their deck out at the swing set now. That's it.
So, is this a compromise? It's a compromise for everyone, right? And is that something we can all live with? We tend to compromise. Which is a precedent in itself, but that's...
I'm sure you could go back in time and find other examples.
Yeah. We do have other examples of properties coming back for a second CUP that had maybe not had one or received a second one for an additional impact, and we have worked with certain people on that. I know C3I, I don't think they ever built it, but C3I came back for an expansion that had additional buffer impact.
I guess one thing I would say is, as far as precedent, I think this whole process has been a little bit of a deterrent, I would say, for future cases of, I don't think anybody would choose this path intentionally going forward.
I think our applicant
I get a second from the crowd over here.
And ultimately, I think that's what we're trying to avoid, right? Is to have this happening again. And I feel like they've spent a lot of effort in addressing the concerns and trying to make right the situation. And as far as the precedent goes, I don't feel like anything that we decide here is going to be binding going forward, other than that we're going to consider each case based on its merits. I don't think we're going to be limited in the future by anything that we decide here.
Yeah, I agree. I just keep coming back to the last time we saw them. We said, ask for full restoration. And we're seeing them again.
Yeah, it's like turned into a negotiation.
Right.
We didn't really think it was. But after seeing it today, it softened that position slightly, and I feel like that might be the case for others, but...
Agreed.
If I may...
The exact same thing for me today. I went in thinking I was going to say full restoration. That's what we wanted before, till I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little,
Yeah.
We in no way are trying to disrespect the commission. We fully recognize what you asked for last fall. The difference here was the fence. They've always wanted a fence. Somehow that didn't get into the request last fall. So that's as much, this request, this application is as much about the fence as it is about the restoration for the Roberts, for sure.
I would love to have you ask the applicant to scrape that topsoil out of there entirely. It sounds like there's not weed in that topsoil that was put there. Because there's none along the line, correct?
Right.
So it sounds like that's coming from the topsoil that was put in, perhaps.
Not gonna hurt.
Did you see any knotweed there before any of this happened? Way back?
So at the last at the last presentation, I did not think so, but Matt had said he had, I think you had said you had photos of knotweed present before the work happened.
Oh, really?
So I can't say for certain it's the result of the soil that was added, but
There's been knotweed at the Rose Farm
Right.
forever.
it's kind of part and parcel to that project, right?
Yeah.
We've been treating it wherever we find it.
Yeah.
We've been treating it wherever we find it throughout the community. So I haven't spent much time on the Roberts yard. So when I saw it today, that was really the first time. But it has been. We've had Kristen and Dave come out where there's areas that are in the conservation area, and we've said, may we treat this before it continues to spread. In other words, there's areas where we're shoveling against the tide, but we're able to get to it in a lot of other spots.
All right, I'll try it.
Connor's got a motion.
We have reviewed the wetland conditional use permit application and are in support of the application as proposed with the following condition: to have restoration, including planting installation, complete by October 10th, 2026.
May I suggest a few more?
And adhering to the plan that's submitted.
Please do.
That boundary discs are confirmed to be installed upon completion. So that same date, right? And some language as to why this is a unique case. And so, what you heard tonight was things like the slope, the, differences in that it's surrounded by wetland or steep slope and has the presence of a gravel wetland. Just something so that your motion includes recognition of the uniqueness of this situation.
Just specify that, say it's a unique situation.
Unique configuration of the lot.
That's fair. Okay. Do we want me to repeat it with all the conditions or just have the conditions repeat it?
For the minute taker, yeah.
Yep. Let me find Kristen's handiwork. So we have reviewed, take that motion off the table. And then I motion again. We have reviewed the wetland conditional use permit application and are in support of the application as proposed with the following conditions. I have 3. Condition 1, to have the restoration, including planting installation, complete by October 10th, 2026. Condition 2, boundary discs are confirmed to be installed upon completion by October 10th, 2026. Condition 3, this is a unique configuration is a unique configuration for the lot as it is surrounded by steep slopes and wetlands on the majority of sites.
I have a question / comment.
I think we need to second it or something, because, right, we're trying to follow our procedure.
Yeah,
Or withdraw it for the moment.
I'll second that. In discussion?
Now it's over there, yeah. Do we want to open it to public discussion or?
Well, before we do, just one
this
comment.
discussion?
The third one is more of, I'm so sorry, but
No,
the
it's all
third
right.
one is more of the basis of the reasoning than a condition, right?
Correct.
You endorse this application because of the uniqueness of the lot with the following conditions.
And it should not be taken as a precedent for future, something like that.
Sorry.
No, I think it's important. Spend time to get it right.
Yep.
I'll withdraw my second.
What was the precedent? This.
Uniqueness of the lot due to slope and drainage. Maybe.
Sorry, I'm typing here. All right. I'll try it again. So this is my new motion. we've reviewed the wetland conditional use permit application and are in support of the application as proposed. We endorse this application due to the uniqueness of the lot surrounded by steep slopes, drainage, and wetlands. This is not to set a precedent for future applications. Condition 1, to have restoration, including planting installation, complete by October 10th, 2026. Condition 2, boundary discs are to be confirmed as installed upon completion by October 10th, 2026.
Okay, I'll second that again. And any discussion before, we might actually answer everything we've got. Anybody got anything to add? Mark, you have a comment?
I'm not sure if it's a question or a comment, but if this were to be approved, is it implied that the specifications in the restoration program are to be followed? The inspections for 2 years, status reports back to the commission. Okay.
Did you say approved as proposed?
As proposed, yeah.
Okay.
So anything that is proposed in here is what I assumed was.
Good question.
All right. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
All right. Passes 6-1.
Thanks for your thoughtful consideration. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
All right. Discussion of stormwater maintenance agreements tracking.
Thank you for coming. Yeah, it's good to have that.
Kristen, did you have anything on that?
Fun one.
Thank you.
Do you want to kick off
Go
the
for it.
question? So Valerie had raised a question about, you hear regularly at these meetings the justification for the impacts because the presence of stormwater infrastructure has nutrient removal efficiencies that meet the town standards. And we know that those removal abilities of the stormwater infrastructure rely on them being regularly maintained. And so the town has a condition that requires annual reports to be submitted. And so Valerie asked the question, rightly so, are they submitted? And they're not. We don't receive reports on a regular basis. I think we've had a small handful over many years after Dave adopted the new condition. And so I think the purpose of having this on the agenda today is sort of discussion about, the importance of having this and maybe the commission's, I don't know, Valerie, you had a concern that they're.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it goes back to if people come in here and they're applicants and they say, we're going to be checking this every year, and then they don't, and then the systems decline, and there's no consequences
Right.
And then so that's my concern. And, do we levy fees, or do we, how do we track, what's the process? How do we track it? And then what do we do?
Well, I think it's a two-step process. One, identify staff that can actually request these records and make sure that they're submitted. And two, then actually take action going after them. But until there's staff available, it can't really be done because I don't know who would pick
Right,
up
and
the
so
slack.
that's a fair point. So we don't have a town engineer on staff. We haven't had an assistant town engineer on staff since 2020. So we are down a tremendous, and actually an engineering tech position, the stormwater tech person left probably 3 years ago. So that, that person, those roles are vacant at the moment. I would be happy to bring this up to Dave and Steve Cronin to see if there's a way we could sort of come up with a solution, but at the end of the day, we do need staff identified with this as their responsibility.
Yeah, none of the rest of it really matters if you don't have that to build on.
You don't have what?
If there's no staff.
Right.
To read it or verify it.
How many of these agreements do we have?
Do we have on file? It's
What's
a guess,
the scale
but,
of the work?
well, every applicant that comes through that has some sort of stormwater structure should be providing this annual report. So
Since
maybe
a certain time, like there's
28 a year since Dave started in 2016.
so everything after
I think that's when
2016.
he started.
28 a year?
It's a ballpark, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a very
I'm trying to guess how many applications
specific
we've
ballpark.
So
20, less than 30, I think.
But not every one has this feature. Not every application.
Many of them
most
do. Yeah.
Yes, they look from listening. I mean,
Right.
that's what I hear.
So it's a couple hundred, give or take.
So this is like culverts and things.
It's gravel wetlands and stormwater ponds and all of that.
What
Yeah.
about
retention
like
pond.
Detention ponds.
McFarland's parking lot?
They would
That's
have
pretty
been
elaborate.
required to have one. And it's not
Does that
saying that they're not being
require
maintained.
maintenance? No,
We
but-
just don't have record of the maintenance.
That's what I mean, yeah. I mean, that's pretty elaborate system they have.
Yeah. We also
What is the record that what are they supposed to submit? A letter saying we
a
maintained
report,
it
an inspection report.
and it's functioning as designed?
Who can conduct the inspection?
A
Anyone?
stormwater engineer.
Ah,
Yep.
So is the TRC requiring this
Yep. It is a condition
A
of
year-
approval.
for a yearly
Yes.
inspection?
Yes.
Is there an-
in perpetuity?
Yep.
So are you going to talk to Dave and Steve?
I would be happy to bring this up as a concern raised by the commission, and we'll try to come up with a solution.
Take the first step then.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you need a
Does that
motion?
satisfy your?
Well, are we going to get those staff people back on board, engineers?
There is a dearth of available folks.
Oh, is that
for
right?
Yeah.
Many municipal positions, and this is not a problem specific to Exeter.
Right.
There are so many municipal positions across the seacoast and across New Hampshire that are vacant because of a lack of quality people, especially when you're talking about engineers.
Okay.
The money that was pumped into public works projects by the Biden administration through their various programs that they passed from 2020 to 2022, it sucked up so many people that were qualified to take those positions.
Okay.
And that money's still working its way
Oh.
through the projects, despite the current administration's attempts to claw it back in some cases. So there's a real dearth of people available to do this work. We are, as a town, our personnel department and our assistant town manager, Melissa Roy, and now our current town manager, Paul Cohen, they're all working on this. It's a high priority to get as fully staffed as we can. And they are making some progress, but
Okay.
does that mean that those people went to like state projects?
State and federal.
Massachusetts.
State and federal projects, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of money pumping through the system that was approved from 2020 to 2022.
And they have to be like a licensed professional engineer or some.
I think our assistant town engineer position states you have to be able to obtain your
You can train
license.
into it.
Yes.
Yeah, but so there's a lot of education required.
But I mean, our town engineer, Paul Vlasic, retired, what, year and a half, 2 years ago? He's still on contract because there's some projects that are just too important not to have an engineer available. So we're actually paying his consulting rate.
Yeah.
And his retirement, which is awesome for him.
There you go. That's what the municipal gig pulls.
Yeah.
Does UNH have programs that feed that? these jobs?
A lot of the engineers come from UNH and
Yeah.
the state, yeah.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Yeah.
But to get back to Valerie's concern, which is extremely valid, do you need a motion from the commission saying that they would, or do you just want?
I
this
think the
discussion?
conversation,
Yeah.
Valerie wanting this on the agenda and recognition that it's important is enough for me to go back to Steve and Dave and like sort of talk again about how can we make this happen. And I do have a budget increase request, so maybe an intern project could be part of that. I don't know.
Okay.
My two thoughts on this are that challenges with these where like it's a subdivision with the developer coming in, they may create an HOA and then ultimately it's the HOA's responsibility to do this because the developer's gone once 50% of the units are sold. And the HOA owns it. So I don't know if it's part of, and then it gets, these original conditions get lost. So I don't know how, if
These
it's
conditions do get incorporated
into the bylaws,
home-
into the
yes.
bylaws.
Yep.
Okay. So
And other communities successfully implement it with regular tracking, right? And
Okay.
it's just,
yeah, you got to ask for it.
It's
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Okay.
The good
And
news-
then are
the
there
good
ones
news is
failing?
it's not 20 years later. Valerie has flagged this roughly 8 years after we
Yeah.
started doing this.
And are there examples of like ones that aren't being maintained that we're aware of? I know there was one at Main Street School, but it turns out they're not actually discharging to it, so it's okay that there are trees in it, but it looked pretty bad, and we're like, what's going on? That one isn't actively being discharged to, so it's fine, but
I mean, I think there have been some where it's so obvious that it's not being maintained that we've reached out.
Yeah.
Mobile station on Epping Road, for one, it comes to mind. And then they did take action. So the Stop and Shop though, or former Stop and Shop restoration, river restoration project, that was also stormwater mitigation. That's essentially defunct as it is with all tree root penetration through the gabions and all that, so, or whatever that word is.
yeah, Gabion baskets.
If we wanted to have a fine or a penalty, like how does that happen? Do we have that ability or?
No.
I don't know.
I would highly doubt we have fine.
It doesn't seem.
Certainly as a commission, we don't.
I suspect because it's, I don't know, I can look into that.
I think there's other steps we have to take before we even get anywhere close to that, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Another item is the potential for a boardwalk at Rains. And I have a funny feeling Keith has been working on this.
Perhaps. So initially, I'm not really looking to do, a boardwalk tomorrow afternoon, right? This is more like a long-term plan. So the layout of and the purpose for this is to provide funding for the barn, right? So we have this 50 acres of land with a barn that needs maintenance. It's been identified that it does need a front sill on the east end, at least partial sill. When we were redoing the addition for the silo connector, you had to drill like, I don't know, it was 12, 13, 14 times to get 4 ledger locks to sync, right? So that tells you that when you're connecting the two pieces that is turning to powder, so it needs to be jacked up and replaced, and that's going to cost some money, right? So to say, all right, well, we need another warrant article, blah blah blah, for Rains, right? So that this method of creating a destination at Rains that's unique, you go through an underpass and you go over some planking through a wettish area to an upland to the grasses, and perhaps have in the long term a boardwalk of such that goes out to an observation platform with a very awesome kind of unique view looking both ways at the river. So this would require a lot of planning engineering and preparation to make that happen. In the interim, to get out that way, I'm suggesting that we use the underpass and get a wetland permit to put some planking, a trail permit to put some planking, a dredge and fill permit, as you said, Kristen, is that correct?
Yeah.
Standard?
It wouldn't qualify for, because it's a tidal marsh or tidal wetland, it wouldn't qualify for the trail notification process.
Okay, so it would be a
Dredge and fill.
dredge and fill. Is that a lengthy process?
Ask Connor.
Is that a
The
lengthy
wetland
process?
scientist.
Yeah, it depends what you call lengthy. Yeah, like 75 days for review.
How many?
2 months.
2 months. To review, okay, to put planking down.
Yeah.
Across a marshy, it's not really grassy area, it's a muddy area because of the slope of the
Yeah, the state has
wetlands.
like, they call them priority resource areas. So they're just elevated wetland systems, and this one would fall in that. So it would be a bigger, a more intensive review on their end.
Okay. So I'm asking for us to consider that, put in front of you, and again, the reasoning is to provide future funding for maintenance and events at the barn. I feel like that if this property had a kind of an awesome destination loop type system, that would be something that very much would get more people out there to enjoy the property. I feel now it's excellent. I mean, you walk around the fields and do a lot of birding. It's really good, but there's some trepidation about going through the underpass and through the mud and through kind of everything to get to the river, which is spectacular. So the vision would be there's a current trail that goes to the underpass, and goes through the underpass and then just sort of ends in overgrowth there. So there would need to be about 60 feet of planking that would take you to the upland. Once you're in the upland, you've got about 110 feet until you get to the edge of the woods line and the grasses that are next to the river. And at that point, depending on which direction you went, because the river, comes back in and banks out, you could have a boardwalk heading to the area, according to this deed, where it was close to the original town landing that they used to run the cattle through the underpass to. And I feel like that would really tie that property into something really good, and people would love it, and we would be able to glean funding from that. That's why I'm an advocate of this. It says here in this deed in the bottom, 10 lines, that the railroad, the Boston and Maine Railroad, shall build and maintain a cattle and farm underpass. So Mr. Chase Wiggin, who put this together in 1891, was smart to do that. So it looks like we have access to this according to what I'm reading here. I'm no attorney, but that's where we're at. And I'd be excited to do this and apply for this permit to get that. If we could get some support from others to perhaps entertain a motion about that. Does anybody have any questions? I've been out there quite a bit looking around. Does anybody have anything they'd like to know?
I'm not as familiar as you are with that area. So can you explain where the underpass?
Sure.
Is it at
You want to, maybe the
do we have a
Google
map?
Earth or something?
Yeah, Google Earth will show you. So there was an original rail bed that was built about 1840, and in the 1890s, they built another rail bed. The old rail bed is still there, and they joined together. And right where they joined together, maybe 50 feet from the joining of the two, is a cattle underpass. So there's a trail that goes from the old bed, that's the current trail that wraps around kind of the apex by the railroad tracks, and then goes under the current tracks and out to the river.
So would they have to maintain that?
Well, they have to maintain it because it says so in the deed, and now that it's built this way, in order, they have to maintain it, otherwise it would collapse and there would be a derailment. So yeah, they're very interested in maintaining it. So right in the bend of the river there
Is where the land.
is where the landing was, yeah. And so if you look at the field, the two fields, right? So the bottom field that's shaped like a lengthy pencil is if you go to the Newfield side of that, you're going to go through some woods, and you're probably going to go maybe 100 yards, 120 yards, and they start to merge. That's the old rail bed that goes into the woods, and it comes in and merges with the new rail bed, which you can see clearly there, right? The old rail bed is covered by trees. So then you would bang a right, and it goes right underneath the current bed and out to, in between where the two Swampscott River wordings are there. So you want to make the boardwalk in between at the closest point to land, so it'll be less, material out there and less impact. And really, if you look at that tree line on that bend there, it comes out pretty close to the river. See that bulge in between? So that's sort of the spot. And according to this deed, based on the footages and all, it seemed like when it happened, and I don't know, but the cattle were sort of out there for a bit, before they could round them up and get them onto the barges. So they were sort of grazing that area that is now woods or upland, okay? And then, of course, the river has changed, constantly changing, and we've had since a dam built and then a dam removed, right? So a lot has happened coming from the freshwater side, and of course the tides are always moving things around over the past 130 years. So that was in 1891. So originally they must have had something going over the tracks in the 1860s. So we're talking even another 30 years beyond that, 160 years ago. So hard to say where it really was. This does give you some delineation as to where the original landing was. So the vision would be to have this platform near there with a plaque on it that says, near this site was the original town landing for the Wigan Farm at that time.
And so it was like wasn't it a regional hub for cattle?
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
So it was the land, there were other things going on downtown, but this was like the agricultural landing.
Yeah.
Ship them to Brighton.
I wonder if there'd be anything archaeological interest out there if it was used by that many people.
Yeah,
That could be a problem.
Yeah,
actually.
I don't know if you want to say that.
Well, there's no mounds.
Well, but in these reviews, this can come up if we're disturbing their.
No ground disturbance.
So.
Yeah, so tell me your experiences with this and what you see as a hurdle. Sounds like you've had some experience here.
Probably just how close we are to we all know tidal wetlands have a buffer.
Yep.
So if we're impinging on that buffer, that's going to be a red flag right off the bat.
Yeah.
I think you have recreation on your side. I think there's a lot going for this project, so.
So went up there at high tide, and you certainly can, stay a good distance from the river with an observation platform that gives you a great view of the river, but not being right in the actual, anywhere near even an astronomical high tide, right? So
right,
and it's nice, there's no trees or anything, so there's a good view. So from a recreation point, that's good. I guess I wanted to hear what any opposition might be from anyone. And
Are
I
we
just
gonna
want to
have,
know
like-
what that might be.
Are they gonna have, are you envisioning like foundations? Are you envisioning?
So this is not something you can just go and sort of
post going into the ground.
hack together, right?
Right.
You don't need an engineer to have where should the pilings be? How deep should they be? What are the support systems? How wide is it? You know, what exactly is the material? What are the fasteners? What is best for this environment? I mean, obviously they have these things at Fort Foster and already on Point and Seacoast Science Center, and they have all this already. So there's much that can, peas. There's a lot of places that this has been done.
And the Piscastic Greenway one, that's not a title one.
No, that's not. I go out there like
that one.
5 times a week. I love that place. Yeah. So yeah, that's the picture I had taken, and that's kind of the vision of that. It's sort of, this can be a piecemeal project. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. You certainly can get out with some planking, can get out over that 60 feet of muddy area, get into the uplands and near the grasses for a view, just kind of get out there and see if we get the permit, right? See where we want to go with perhaps a boardwalk over there, and see which makes, what makes the most sense according to this deed as to where the old town landing was, what makes the most sense for proximity to the river, what makes the most sense for least impact on the wetland. So, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to get anybody's take on what they thought about this.
I like the idea of connecting Rains to the river, because it is right there, but then the train really is a problem. So it's really cool if the historical component of it, I think. And expanding the trails, I agree, the trail's nice, but it would be cool to
have sort of a destination with a great
have a little
view.
more to that trail loop.
Yeah,
I think we need to look at what are the buffers and impacts, and I guess I could see some issues. It's a little funny if all of a sudden we're proposing tidal buffer impacts.
Yeah, and this may be some kind of
yeah.
This could be a harebrained scheme, right? I don't know. I'm asking.
It's very creative.
Yeah.
Well,
and I like it for that reason. Is there any way that we could, as a group, go out there and just kind of walk around,
so
get a better sense?
Yeah, so you need a pair of boots.
3 of us can, and us will get them.
Well, we could post it too,
Yeah.
right? Have a site walk, correct?
Sidewalk.
Yeah. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So,
Bring your willies.
yeah, so it's not really that bad. You can stay on the hummocks.
Probably right now. It's okay.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. I was out there Saturday, and it's, like I said, it's 60 feet of a little bit of mud, and then it's upland all the way until the grasses, and it's very navigable, and it's been navigated by others going along the river. So we'd be going from the underpass to the river, and there is a trail that goes along there for quite a ways. There's actually a duck blind further down off of our property, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, and into, so it's near the town border as well. So it's really a pretty cool spot. It'd be exciting to be able to add that to the farm, and as far as
Part of the farm trail too. I don't know. They put a sign up.
yeah, the barn trail sign is up. Yeah, that would be kind of cool if
Yeah.
people do the barn trail loop.
People do the farm trail loops. Yeah.
And that would be a very
Yeah.
cool hike.
It would be a little unique, maybe.
Let's do a walkabout.
Yeah, I would love that. It's really not difficult. It's all flat, and and the underpass is a really cool thing, and they have maintained that quite well. I sort of did an inspection of it, and it's really well built. Obviously, right? Train runs over it 10 times a day, and it's a cool experience to have to kind of duck down. You don't have to crawl or anything, but you have to duck down and then get out. Beyond there, it's a very neat spot.
Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
that would be the first step that I would see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is anybody for a motion to get a permit, or are we too premature with that? You know me, I'm all Mr. Patience.
Yeah.
That's right, brother.
I'm always gonna take your hot coffee and I'm gonna pour it into the saucer.
Yeah, thank you.
Let it cool.
Yeah, let's do it.
That would be doing a walkabout as a commission would be my way of pouring the hot coffee in the saucer.
Okay.
Let's check it out as a group.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of posting it for the public, so if anyone wants to join us.
Absolutely. When could we do that?
Tell me.
Well, I mean, it's dark now.
Well, we can't do it tomorrow morning.
And you can't camp on the property.
No.
I mean,
You have 24 hours notice, right, to post, and more than that, probably 48 at least,
and
right?
I'll probably go home after this meeting, so the earliest I'll post.
Yeah. No, so what would work, I guess?
I guess that the opening it up to the public makes me nervous, but I know that's our process, so.
What about that makes you nervous? Just the liability? Okay, so let's not do that. Let's,
Maybe a subset of,
Just like a sidewalk, a typical.
well, all right, yeah, sure. You tell me the time and day and I will post it. So that y'all get eyes on it.
Grab on walls.
what if we do it, like we did a sidewalk before this meeting? What if we did it before our September meeting?
Well, then we would lose a month. So,
Well, we can't take any action till our
next meeting anyway?
Right.
Yeah, so do a site walk at the next meeting.
You know that I don't agree.
And if you want to do.
You know I don't agree.
Like,
You're giving me the hairy eyeball, Keith. I see this.
I think, yeah, there needs to be some like site plan development to like look at what is the actual buffer, where is the buffer impacts and
You'll need local permit.
permit,
you'll
yeah, we would need a
state
local,
permit,
Okay.
a state shoreline permit, I would assume, a state wetland permit. And I would advise you to get legal counsel's input as to whether we have the authority to open up use of that.
And there might be,
To the public.
we're doing some work with CSX and DOT right now on the Park Street Bridge. I could see CSX saying,
I could see them wanting to have a good public relations deal right now and give us total access to
They don't care about that.
could
So
work
it's-
that way.
right.
I think they tend to want to keep folks away from the tracks.
They do. And,
For
you know, there's a
safety
lot of options there, too. You could do old school and have like a cattle chute, you know, so like you're a cow going through the deal so you can't get up on the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
So there's, you know.
and it is low, right? So it's not like it's it's not like the friendliest.
I went through there the other day.
Could you deepen it and then you get into all that, right?
Yeah,
But so it is like, I do think if we start asking people questions, this could turn
Let's go check it out.
very south. So
Step one, let's just check it out as a group.
I think we should do this.
And for transparency, we should post it.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Before our next meeting,
Yeah.
which is,
September
I
8th.
left my phone in my car. September 8th.
Yes.
Oh,
September 8th, yeah.
that is our primary election day, and I will be at the polls, so
Oh.
I could not do September 8th.
Oh, yeah.
Could we do it like 2 days before then or something? Or is it, or the weekend, or the Friday before?
I am away the week before on a long planned vacation.
Well, let's you and I go out there sometime, take a look.
I like that
All right, here
idea.
we go.
Two citizens.
Yeah, all right.
Don't worry about a quorum. Just don't have one.
Yeah, right. So you'd be all set. Okay.
You can invite one other person with you guys. Or actually, no, Dan
Dan's
doesn't
not
count.
No, it
I
doesn't
don't
count.
count.
He's
I don't count.
right. So you could have,
You got 2 open slots.
you've been out
You could
there,
have
right?
up to 3 commissioners, correct?
Yeah, you've been out there. So, and it's a great walk. It's, you know, it's not very far from the parking lot.
All right, well, then you can privately arrange that.
Okay.
Is there anyone that would like to do a walkabout with Keith and me?
Yeah.
Anytime. I
So
will
we've
make
got
myself
Ethan
available.
and Michelle,
Yes.
and you, and Keith and myself.
You would
I
like
can,
to see.
I can do it on my own though. If
Yeah?
we're being conscious about it.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so the four of us will.
Rob, I'll go with Connor.
There you go.
There we go.
Valerie,
He can take
so
notes
much
for me.
you'd like to see?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm happy to post it.
Drew?
If others want to go, why not just post
Yeah,
it?
Yeah, I mean, I would wait for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Kyle? You're a hiker. What do you think?
Yeah.
Just
I
pick a
have
day-
a hard
pick
time
a
getting
day.
home in
Which
time.
day?
That's my one problem.
Oh, we'll have to go a little early.
We're flailing here.
Okay. Thank you.
A minute every day of life.
That's all I had on that. That's just an idea.
It's a great idea. Very creative.
All right. We have a discussion about the Conservation Fund CIP request.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk to you about two things. The CIP discussion that you had at the last meeting, discussion about funding the Conservation Fund at the last meeting, and some recommended budget changes just based on how you all have been operating. So we'll start with the CIP. Last time we had the land use change tax discussion, my impression was the board felt that educating the public on the complexities of land use change tax to fund the Conservation Fund, there's just not enough time to make that happen this year. And so in lieu of losing another year of securing funds for the replenishing the Conservation Fund, I suggested $150,000 for the Conservation Fund as part of the CIP request. You historically had requested $100,000 request. Land use values had increased dramatically. You dropped it to $50,000 when the Rains project went through. So, and then took a hiatus. So this wouldn't be an extreme jump from where you were, but recognizes that land costs have gone skyrocketed. Still, $150,000 is not going to buy you a conservation property, but it can be a great grant match, right? So I guess I wanted to get your thoughts on that number, and then the CIP is a planning tool, multi-year. So I have $100,000 and then a $50,000 addition in the future upcoming years.
150,000.
Sorry, 150,000 and then 50
following.
every following year.
Well, that's not entirely accurate that it's not enough to buy anything, because look what we did with Kensington and East Kingston.
True.
$100,000.
True.
And we were able to move on it, and it
Yep.
came together really well.
It did.
So-
You've had great success with, matching up funds to make a project succeed,
Yeah.
so.
I was pleased to see it in the capital improvement plan. Obviously, that is not approval. It's got to go through the budget recommendation committee and the select board, and then ultimately to deliberative session and the voters, but it was good to see it in there. So, good work by you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Including it in there does require that, it would be helpful if the commission, maybe a member joined me when we advocate for this funds, because you do go through various review thresholds. The town has a lot of expenses before them, and people are concerned about their tax impacts. So it would be helpful, one, to be sure that I'm on track with that submission, and, you guys aren't upset with that and think it should be something completely different. And two, to sort of request assistance as we advocate for this funding, either by attending those meetings or talking to your neighbors and friends to advocate for it and showing up at deliberative session, should it get there.
I'll go with you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You don't have the days yet for budget, rec?
Not off the top of my head.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I
I think
can
that's,
send those.
it's a good plan. I think it's significant but reasonable, like you said.
Good.
So I'm
Good.
supportive.
Good.
And I will happily show up too, Dave.
Great.
If I can, I would be at any. Just
Yeah,
make sure
appreciate it.
we're aware. But I know there's deliberative session, obviously, but before that too.
Yeah, I think it will take some advocating to even get it there.
Yeah.
That
In a
sounds
tight
right.
budget year.
Yeah. There's no such thing as a budget year that isn't tight.
Right. But we also know that there are projects out there and opportunities, and we don't want to miss an opportunity.
Yeah.
So then the second half of that discussion is, I had given what you have in front of you as a spreadsheet. This is the annual budget request. If you look at 2027 budget preliminary, I had put some placeholders in there. You can see 2 lines over to the left what your budget was the prior year. Actually, I'm seeing the recording secretary needs to be bumped, but we had pulled interns out last year to sort of pack the budget, so you had a lot of funding for Rains to sort of prove process in terms of the mowing needs and the the needs for a porta potty. And so as a result, I took money from that to try to keep it level funded and put it into Conservation Land Administration. This budget adds the second line is the salary, wages, temp. That is the interns, so I re-added the interns. And we had that discussion about stormwater. Maybe that's a project that, maybe it's part conservation land monitoring, but maybe that's a project or a process that they could help at least set up and get us caught up. Then skip all the way down to Conservation Land Administration. And I wanted to talk to you about that dollar amount because that includes
$4,500.
Yeah, $4,500. That includes, where did I put it? So right now, for Rains Barn, right? So you have approved mowing expenses that are $1,250. I added this somewhere, but I can't find it. And then a partial porta potty use. My phone just there. Partial porta potty use. That is $750 a year, and that's only May to September, right? So if you do just that, it's, bear with me, $2,000. And that leaves very little else for funding of trail improvement, supplies, or I don't know what. And so I think it would go over better if that number wasn't $4,500. I just don't know where you sit in terms of what you want for funding next year. So we know if you want to continue doing the work at Rains, you need $2,000 at least in there.
Well, our costs have increased. And we have porta potty now, the mowing has increased.
Right.
So I'm expecting it's not going to be what it was in the previous couple
Right.
of years.
So you want to keep 4,500?
Yeah.
Okay. You all agree?
So, but the bottom line, it looks like we have a 50% increase.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
going to go over well, right?
No.
With
So why is it? What's increasing?
I mean, there is a rationale for it.
There is.
Salaries.
The rationale is that the Rains Barn we finished the renovation, and there's a fair amount of, maintenance and
Activity.
and money is being spent to, encourage it to be a destination and put the amenities there that will make it a destination. So, I mean, there's a story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Who does it go over badly with?
I guess that was a misspeak. I am tasked with, or we are tasked with putting forward a basic needs budget, right? Like, what are your basic needs? And so if you feel that that is your basic need, then I'll put that forward.
But then, sorry, I'm just probably ignorant. What's the next
So
step?
my
It goes
step
to
with this goes to the town manager.
Okay.
The town manager and assistant town manager sit and talk with me, and I have to advocate for it. There could be decisions to drop or move at that stage. Then it goes to the budget recommendations committee.
Mm-hmm.
There could be, tweaks at that stage.
That's a group of 10 to 15 citizens that volunteer to review the entire budget over the course of like 5 to 10 meetings in the fall.
And then the Budget Recommendations Committee make a recommendation to the Select Board. The Select Board ultimately choose what they want to go to the warrant, and then the voters decide.
So it has to go out as a warrant, what is it called, the warrant article?
Well,
The budget,
larger general.
The budget is a warrant article.
Just the town budget. That's
Yeah.
kind of where I'm going with the question, because I guess I still don't understand the process by which this money gets in there. So it just comes out of the town general budget. It's not like a line item for the town.
The Conservation Commission have their own section of funding
Of the town budget.
of the town.
So it is a line
The
item.
general budget, general fund
Yeah.
budget.
General budget.
Select board puts that forward to the voters
Yeah,
as the warrant.
yeah,
The town budget is an article on the warrant.
right.
That's reviewed at deliberative session.
Town budget's $30 million or whatever.
No.
More than
It's roughly 20-something.
27.
I thought it was close to 30, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not 30.
But whatever it is. So, but I'm not trying to be pedantic, really. I'm wondering
These are good
why it's might be contentious.
Last
Because this
year-
is a very small amount of money.
Last year, because the new public safety complex bonding was coming online in the 2026 fiscal year, there was an effort to really kind of smush everything down in terms of expenses, because that's a big project. It's nearly a $20 million project. And the bonding for that was going to begin in this fiscal year that we're currently in. And there was also huge health insurance costs increases and just liability insurance increases. So those were the three drivers of a pretty large increase in the budget.
And what was it, percentage-wise? I don't remember.
I think it was somewhere in the range. I think we got it under 10%, but it was close to 10%.
Oh, really? Okay.
Historically, the budget increases have been in the 2-3%
Yeah.
range. So it was a big jump, but a lot of it was driven by the bonding for the new public safety complex. So we're not in that situation anymore. The bonding for public safety is packed into the budget now.
Currently.
So you won't see that kind of increase because of that, but the insurance environment, both health insurance and liability insurance, remains very unstable.
Yeah. Well, and is there substantial, realizing that every town has its budget hawks, is there substantial concern about the magnitude of the town's budget? I mean, I have friends who think the taxes are too high, and they are pretty high, but there's a lot going on in this town, so, like, is there, I guess I'm just trying to register
I would say,
register it.
absolutely. I think regardless of, I go every year and I'm bringing Concom's budget forward. It's a pittance compared to the rest of the budget.
Right.
It's still looked at with the same consideration as large budgets, because they're trying to look globally at and cut dollars any way they can to manage.
They look at percentage increases, definitely.
Okay.
So Drew's comment about okay, so that's roughly a 50% increase.
Right.
Our request is a 50% increase over what we had the previous year. That'll stick out, and they'll scour it, but that's their job. It's the town manager and the assistant town manager and the finance director's job to scour it with Kristen, and then it's the budget recommendations committee's job to scour it in their process over the course of the fall. The select board tends to give, this current select board tends to give the budget recommendations committee's recommendation a lot of deference. We tend to not want to redo their work or second guess their work. That's recent history, that's kind of the way it's gone. But the budget committee takes their responsibility to scour things very seriously. It's a great group of fellow citizens and volunteers. I think you have more expenses with rains coming online.
Well, there is a bit of of a chicken and egg scenario, right? With this type of a budget, and like, why do you need so much more? Well, maybe we should be doing more or could be doing more, but we never will because we're always budget limited. That'd be my argument.
I think if you're asking for an increase, you want to have a good story, and you as commissioners should be available to tell that story. I don't think you should rely on the staff person to tell that story. So what Kristen's doing right now, if I can speak for you, is she's asking, is this something you as commissioners are willing to tell the story about why this is necessary or appropriate? That's what we're doing right here, right now. Does that help?
Yeah, thanks for all the explanation.
Can I ask a question, Kristen? Why is the mowing for rains up at that line item as opposed to roadside mowing with all the others?
We've always managed it differently because it's, the roadside mowing is our late season annual mowing. It gets billed late in the season, and so the mowing around the perimeter of Rains has always been separate.
It's always been separate.
Yeah, because it really is to allow you to use that property. It's not to manage the, maintain the fields in grassland habitat.
So those costs increased tremendously mowing.
They did. So, yeah, I haven't got to that, but yes.
Yes, so the costs are $5,000 more for land management, essentially. I could say we have increased costs for land management. We have rains, which we're trying to mow more intensively to allow access to that property, and just general maintenance of conservation areas.
General. So the $44.50 for roadside mowing, I could drop to $21.25, to $3,400.
Yeah.
But that would not maintain the Irvine Properties invasive plant work that we started.
Right.
Which
Maybe
was
I could
the
find a grant.
bittersweet,
Right. Yeah.
But it
Bittersweet.
was, in treatment, you mean they were
Mulching.
mulching, they weren't
Yeah.
spraying or
Nope.
anything, yeah.
And,
But
maybe we
should
skip a second
do
year,
that.
but we skipped this, we're going to have to skip this year. So I was thinking next year, it's important to get back in.
Yeah, why would we start something like that?
Maybe we could find a grant like we did the first time, but I don't know.
Because that's the number that really increased to me. I mean, besides the rains, we're running it differently and we need more money for that, but the mowing is.
Yeah, we increased conservation land management and took that money from interns.
Yeah.
We're keeping that there and adding the interns back in.
I would like the interns.
Plus, we're increasing our mowing costs. Yep. And then the last one, dues has gone slightly. Dues is.
Went down.
Went down,
Oh, yeah.
that's right.
Well, if we never ask, sometimes you gotta ask. So,
Okay.
I'm supportive. I don't.
Yeah.
But you, as fellow citizens of the Budget Recommendation Committee, will have more sway than Kristen as a staff person.
Right.
And there are opportunities during the BRC process for all of you to speak to your request.
Well, I guess we should make sure we communicate on when those opportunities are.
You got to get in there and you got to defend this and tell the story about why you're asking for that increase.
And then you can also say, the previous year, we did not have the interns for a reason.
Yeah, 2026 number in some ways was artificially low.
Artificially low, yeah.
Because everything got packed down.
Yeah.
Yeah, this feels more like we're getting to where we should be as a baseline versus asking for anything in excess. It's all pretty justifiable.
Got to tell the story.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, and it's $5,000. I think you got to keep the total number. I think that'll be helpful.
Yeah, don't go just by percentage.
Don't look at percentage.
And another budget question, but things that become parks, is a separate entirely, right? So
Park and rec property is separate.
yeah, when it gets designated as a town park, right? So, because that must be a much bigger budget, but.
Right, what is their mowing line item cost? It's 60.
Yeah, compared
For a
to
lot of their facilities, they've gone to robots to mow. Yeah.
Or maybe
So
that's
they've
what
actually
they're
found
actually,
cost savings.
yeah.
There was upfront investment, but, so if you ever drive by,
Good God.
Rick Garrett always has the
yeah,
robots.
you'll see
You'll see it going around in a
Yeah.
circle.
It's cool.
Okay, so if you are supportive, this is what I'll submit.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Committee reports. Do we have any report on Art in the Barn?
Seems to be going on.
Yeah, so we've given away
A lot of canvases.
a large number of canvases,
Yeah.
purchased 200,
Yeah.
and have given almost all of those away, right? With the exception of.
I think we have probably, close to, 25, 30 left. So
Yeah.
there's still some opportunity to get those, but I think your suggestion of trying to promote attendance is also
Yeah,
very warranted,
that's what we
right?
have to work on.
Right,
So-
so time to shift to promoting the event itself rather than the campaign.
Yeah, so I would ask, people here, that everybody certainly spread the word, tell your friends, neighbors, associates, to come out and see the event, see the farm, see the barn.
Is there any sort of marketing materials, like signs or anything?
Yeah, so-
I could put something up in the nursery.
Yeah, that'd be great. We could do that. Kristen had reserved the board out front here,
Yeah.
in front of the old town hall, and the smaller one down by the intersection as well for the 10 days before.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the, so we're gonna make a sign for those. I'm gonna also put up the sign at the barn again with the, the sandwich board sign out there so people see it that pass by.
We can try to do Exeter patch, Foy insurance, I'm gonna stop there,
Yeah, Beverly, my wife was saying that we should talk to Graham Tire for insurance. A lot of times they'll put up some public service things.
You've distributed flyers and I've seen them in windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that we did that with the grand reopening thing. That went pretty well. So yeah, it's coming along. It should be fun. We'll try to get more new people out there, right? So anybody.
Exeter TV did a great job driving.
They did. That's a real
attendance to the
big
shore
asset.
On the train station.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you wanted to
Yeah,
have them do a piece
Yeah,
promoting
yes.
attendance at Art in the
We
Barn.
should talk,
Yeah, and Joe Stagnone's doing some drone work. He does awesome work. That's also very visually compelling, so let's see if we can muster some support there. But I think just talking about it to everybody would be a mighty good thing to do.
And just to make it very plain, the concept is people take a canvas, they create a piece of artwork, and then it gets hung in the barn, and we're going to sell those
as a
those
fundraiser.
pieces of art as a fundraiser for preserving the barn,
Yep.
conserving and preserving.
And future
the barn.
events, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So we need
So when-
artists to
yeah.
take canvases.
And when are they due?
So the event is the 26th of, Saturday, the 26th of September. So before that, you know what I mean? Like a few days before that, I think would be would be good.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
But if you brought a nice deal in the day of, I'd hang it up for you, brother.
Okay.
I would.
Well, I want to make sure, how do we get back a lot of the canvas? Because, I know I have 3, but,
Well, let's make the due date our next meeting. This is unbelievable.
Well, we can accommodate.
I mean, these artists are, they're not known for being very timely, so you gotta give good deadlines and maybe give a little.
I think, I honestly think like the Wednesday before, because the way we've got the system set
And
up.
then where are they bringing them to here, or?
That's a good question.
Like, I think there needs to be a little more
There is- the
thought about
website
how you
has
get the
all-
art, and then where is it actually going in the barn, and who's gonna hang it, and is there gonna be lighting to look at it? Cause like hanging, as someone who just has worked on a lot of art hanging recently with my wife and the fair and stuff, you want it to look good and have adequate light. That could be a
So you're an
challenge.
experienced art hanger.
Yeah.
Excellent, brother. We'd take your services.
Yeah.
Excellent. Nice job.
We have all these panels, we could actually,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
We should talk to Sarah.
Any and all assistance in this matter would be
We
appreciated.
looked at the panels in the old town hall, and they're just two pumps and they're
Yeah, those can't be moved.
huge.
Oh, those can't be moved,
They're
right,
beautiful, but
right.
Sounds like an offline conversation.
Yeah.
yes. Well,
But the website, Art and Barn is on the website.
There's a
It has
website.
a submission deadline, which I do believe we put September 15th, so the
Yeah,
artists.
that's what I
have been
thought, there
told
was
that.
one, okay.
And they were to turn it in at town hall, is what we had said.
Right.
So by, I think it was
Town hall or town offices?
town hall. But we'll accept them prior to that. They can
Yes.
drop them off anytime for me. We talked about hanging them with wires throughout, along the main corridor of the barn, but if there's another solution, hey, let's do that. Yeah. It's gonna be grand.
Okay,
Indeed.
cool.
All right. Committee reports. I don't see anything else here. We've got some minutes to approve. July 14th, we had a site walk prior to our July 14th meeting. There are minutes from that site walk. Myself, Ethan, Drew, Keith, and Michelle were there. So, yeah, there's four of us, we can approve these minutes. I make a motion to approve the minutes from the site walk at 5 Brentwood Road on July 14th.
Seconded.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes, unanimously. And then we had the meeting minutes. Anybody notice any problems with those?
it was fine.
Yeah. Okay, then I'll make a motion that we approve the July 14th meeting minutes.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimously passes. Okay, we've got another meeting coming up.
I do have one thing under correspondence. to
Oh, I'm
share.
sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. One, I'll defer until the application is before you. We did get a resident comment on an application that's not been on your agenda yet. So I'll send you that when we get that project scheduled. But another one is a woman who lives at 140 Kingston Road, reached out about a cemetery that's between her property and 144 Kingston Road. It's a pretty decent sized property. And she had the former, the relatives of the people who are buried at that cemetery reach out wanting to go visit it. And she contacted me wondering if there's any way we had volunteers that would help her clear that. Keith is familiar with the site, and we just talked tentatively about would the Conservation Commission consider a work day or something like that to help her along to restore the cemetery site.
As long as it's not poison ivy.
It may be. I don't know what's out there. But if that's something that there's interest, I could schedule send out a doodle poll and pick a weekend day or something.
It would be open to the public. It would be like, come help kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it could be.
Yeah.
I was thinking a work session for the Conservation Commission, but however you want to do it.
It's a large area, sloping. There's one particular large tree in the middle. There's this. I've been there in a while, but it's been chipped away at, but it still has a lot of work to do. There are granite posts surrounding it in spaces. So basically, the methodology would be to just clear what you can and toss it outside the granite posts in the surrounding property, so you wouldn't have to haul it away necessarily. Just cut it back and clean out around the stones.
Are there rock walls between the granite posts?
No. There is a rock wall on the back, but it's not. It's the granite post is just kind of the delineation of where the burials were conducted. It's a cool site. It's right across from Crossroad. So you're coming out of the transfer station, and you're sort of looking. There's a set of pine trees right in front of you. There's a little tiny path right through the middle, and you go. That takes you right to it. Or you can access it by the driveway of number 140, which is a little closer. But yeah, it's. And so a Boy Scout, Eagle Scout project was done there, I think in '97. So it needs some help. It's been touched a little bit since then, but it's a scene. It's a good way to describe it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would
Yeah.
be willing to
Awesome.
get down on some of that. Good. Learn more about the scope.
So you're going to send the poll out, Kristen?
I can do that, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, sounds good.
great. All right.
Dave, I have one more. I'm so sorry. I don't know.
A motion?
No, this one will be quick. I don't know if I need a motion for it, but the company I work for is GZA. There's a new function value protocol. So it was like earlier this year, we're just behind. But we have at my company like 5 wetland scientists. So we're looking to go to a big natural wetland and then a disturbed wetland and just go through the protocol. It'd be cool if we could do it on Exeter land and then you guys get 2 free function value assessments.
Cool.
Otherwise, we can go to, a client, but I want to do it on Exeter land first to see.
Sure.
It'll be sometime before that I can organize it, but
Yeah, that's a great.
it'll be digging one hole and going from there.
Yep.
Good.
I would think that should come forward as a motion to support GZA utilizing 2 wetlands in the town of Exeter at a location to be determined by staff.
Yeah, at some point, yeah.
I'll make a motion to do what Kristen just said.
Perfect.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tidal wetlands count too, or?
That might be a little bigger than.
Sounds like an offline negotiation.
All right, our next meeting is September 8th. Submission deadline is August 28th. And it is now 9:03, and I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, or is there any discussion about that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.